Hello everyone. Today we're going to be reacting to a Borderlands 4 video. It's from IGN. Let me show you real quick. So, I am in the way. So it's from IGN. So yeah, no, I'm a big Borderlands guy. I've played a lot, like a stupid amount of Borderlands 2. Me and my brother ended up doing like a turret only run. That was fun, and we did a bunch of other little things. As well, I've played a handful of Borderlands 3, very little Borderlands 1, and the pre-sequel I barely played, and the Tiny Tina one I don't even recall beating. But yeah, no, I'm curious to see what this video is going to be talking about. One thing I'm hoping Borderlands 4 will do is just have a really good villain. There's a reason why Borderlands 2 is one of the best games out there, is because the villain was really good. So if they want Borderlands 4 to like pop good tiers, you know, they need to have a good story, and especially a good villain, which implements also to a good story. So let's get into the video, and we'll see what it's all about.
With action-packed gunplay, an innumerable quantity of badass guns to loot, and some of the most crass humor in gaming, the Borderlands games have held a special place in my heart since way back in 2009.
Crazy thing is, Borderlands, it was the game to start the whole genre of looter shooter. I've seen people who say Destiny is the one that sort of started it. Nope, Borderlands.
But it's also a series that practically invented the looter shooter genre, then saw itself fall behind the curve as a renaissance of RPG-infused multiplayer shooters dominated the space.
Okay, you know what'd be cool? If they made like a big arena, and then there was like 8 Vault Hunters, and you fight as long as you can, the enemies slowly get harder, and then when you go down, obviously a teammate can revive you, but if you die, you're gone. And it just goes until no one's left. I think that'd be fun. See how far in you could go. And obviously it would give you loot. Like maybe worse loot at the start and then better loot as you go. I think that'd be fun.
With Borderlands 4, the team at Gearbox seems eager to take some big swings in hope of reclaiming the throne of firearms and shell casings they themselves built.
I think Borderlands 4 needs to do the good part, like the story good part of Borderlands 2, and then do some of the good things that Borderlands 3 did, and just sort of mush them together, you know?
And whether it's the greatly improved shooting mechanics,
also,
interesting revamp.
If Borderlands 4 fails, I believe this was also like 2 or 3 times the budget of Borderlands 3. So if this fails, this game, I feel like Borderlands is in a big sticky situation.
RPG mechanics, an entirely fresh setting, a slew of new characters, or a more grounded tone in its story.
Also, yes, if Borderlands 4 is going to be a lot darker, or at least darker than the previous games, I would be so down for that. I do enjoy a darker tone story. So, yes, if they have a nice darker tone, I'm okay with that. It doesn't always have to be goofy all the time.
The handful of hours
obviously have the goofy moments, but
I'm confident that I will find myself pulled back into this wonderfully weird world of psychopaths.
I still don't even know what main character I want to do yet. Claptrap, I hate how he's going to be in the game. I hope he dies.
There's a whole heck of a lot of novel things Borderlands 4 tries, but the first thing that immediately jumped out at me was the focus on movement. I counted no fewer than 5 additional ways to keep your Vault Hunter in motion while hunting for treasure. I
think in this day and age for a shooter, movement is so important. That's one reason why I like Splitgate. Just the movement on that game is really, really good. So I think movement, if they perfect that on this game, chef's kiss.
Treasure and blasting wild animals, including double jumping, gliding through the air.
I like that.
Dashing from side to side.
I like that.
Pulling yourself around with a grappling hook.
I don't know how hard that'll be to use.
Which is especially great because dying every time one of my toes got wet was pretty annoying in the
Oh yeah, swimming, yes.
Each of these traversal options added an interesting dimension to navigating arenas while sniping mercenaries and lobbing explosives in the faces of the local fauna. And also,
Fauna Montana,
how quickly I could close distance between me and the baddies in my path. That was a welcome
That's also another thing with Borderlands is the main character needs to feel like a badass. If you feel like you're not like not some like whoa guy, you know, it's just not going to be good. You know, you gotta feel like a bad booty.
I always found myself pretty frustrated by how slowly I move in old Borderlands entries.
Here come the fireworks!
If there's
One thing me and my brother realized after playing a lot of Borderlands 3 and when we went back to Borderlands 2 was the grappling, like just like or whatever it's called where you climb up the ledge. That is so nice, and not having that in Borderlands 2 is so rough. I wish they'd make a remaster to Borderlands 2, you know, add the whoop, you know.
anything worrisome about all these extra ways to get around, it's that there are so many of them I often forgot to use them. Being able to double jump, glide, and grapple hook across a room all in the same motion honestly feels like too much.
Chat, ask me, is it a good thing if there's too much where for movement kind of thing that you forget to use some? Or would you prefer a little bit less and not, you know, like I feel like it's okay that when it comes to movement, you forget certain ones at times because there's just a good amount of options. As well, I'm very happy the vehicles are just a press button and you're in a vehicle thing.
Much power, at least in the hands of a rookie like me who only had a few hours to familiarize myself with it all. By the end of the demo though, I felt a lot better about my ability to keep myself in motion while bringing my arsenal to bear upon swarms of monsters. But it definitely feels like it'll take some getting used to. Of course, it wouldn't
Also, I want to say the game looks really good. I don't know why I'm looking at that. It's 720.
be a Borderlands game without the promise of a bottomless cache of weapons to discover, each designed to inject a little anarchy into combat. While I only got a small sampling of what's in store, they're honestly
I'm so happy they said Legendary is going to be harder to actually get. As well, Pearl Essence, I believe, was hinted towards, which would be above Legendary, which would be also huge.
weren't a ton of things I wasn't expecting, even with the additional weapon manufacturers introducing some new stuff.
Interesting.
One of the new gunmakers, Ripper, seem to have a lot in common with the COV weapons from Borderlands 3, as they need to spin up before they can be fired, but then pile on a heaping helping of lead into enemies. While Daedalus reminded me a lot of the doll weapons that offer multiple ammo types to switch between. The only distinct new type I got to try out was called the Order, which have an alternate firing mode, like a pistol I found that could create gravity wells instead of shooting normal bullets. Most of what I played was from
I'm also very curious to see what will be able to do for gun wise. It'd be kind of cool if you had like a sniper that would shoot like a shotgun, but each pellet would count as like a sniper bullet.
pretty early in the campaign, and I
Or have like a machine gun that
single
shoots just
weapon during
rocket
rounds,
launchers.
So it's fairly likely there are more surprises I haven't seen, but at least on the surface, I wasn't too shocked with what I found in that regard.
Make room for the boom!
Get built.
What seems significantly more distinct are the new build crafting options, including a healing item called a rep kit that can be used in addition to the usual pickups you find in chests and pick off the sorry corpses of your slain foes. These add an interesting dimension to defining your build, as you could just play it safe and equip the item that offers the most healing with the shortest cooldown.
I'm just not gonna get hit. As simple as that. Anyone who needs to get the best of the best healing, skill issue. I'm just gonna do a no-hit run.
But
Day one.
other Vault Hunters might instead favor one that intentionally offers lesser healing benefits to instead grant some other effect.
Oh, next question. So if there's a healing effect, what if you're doing a build where you only have 1 HP? Will there also be effects to do just shields? That'd be cool.
Every time the item is used. For example, I found one that caused a large explosion of cryo to explode around me whenever I used it, versus another that restored significantly more health and could be used twice before it needed to be cooled down. Depending on how risky you want to play it or the specific strategy behind your build.
I could see the healing factor thing. I could see people being against that, but I feel like that'd be really nice and useful.
I could see this opening up a lot of doors for clever min-maxers to do some pretty fun stuff. Each Borderlands has a different roster of Vault Hunters to play, and
See, when it comes to the Vault Hunters, I don't know who I want to start with. Like, I feel like she'd be cool. Like, she's got like little minions.
This entry is no different. I got the chance to try
Jeez, that is a lot.
the magical siren whose main focus, at least with my setup, was in summoning NPC companions.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
Mobs.
What
And
the
Rachel
flip was
a
that?
soldier who had a bunch of high-tech gadgets to unload onto anyone stupid enough to get in his way, including some melee.
Is that the Watcher?
Made short work of anyone within arm's reach.
Watch.
Or some shoulder-mounted cannons that automatically helped me lather folks in lead.
I feel like this guy would be more of the generic build. Like the Commando.
It's always hard to tell just how awesome each of these bona fide badasses is going to be after just a few hours, but I was already very much heartened by the number of interesting options to pick from, and I already felt myself transforming into an arm-to-the-teeth instrument of death, even as low-leveled as I was. Also, some of the perks I saw on those trees looked downright spicy, like the ability to disconnect Rafa's shoulder-mounted turrets to convert them into a stationary battle station. So consider me pretty hyped to try out a late-game build.
I'm very curious to see how the builds are going to play out. Because that's obviously, the story's one of the more important ones, and then obviously build is also a good one.
Another interesting change coming with Borderlands 4 is the new, clearly darker setting and story.
Oh man, I hope we get like a whole cast of people and like boom 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 clap chop first, but boom boom one by one dying off. Obviously in a good way, like a good written way.
Taking place on a new world.
Sort of have it like Halo Reach. That'd be cool if they made like a Halo Reach type story where you have a huge cast and then they just slowly die off from the Watchmen.
World called Kairos, the world has been dominated by an oppressive, immortal being known as the Timekeeper, who
The Timekeeper, okay, that's his name.
controls the population using cybernetic implants. But naturally, the actions of the Vault Keepers in recent Borderlands entries, which I won't spoil here, has ruined the perfect, unjust order on Kairos, throwing the place into chaos and opening the door for you and your friends to shoot everything in the face and score some sweet loot. The change in tone is pretty clear, and even though you've still got the usual cheeky characters, sexual innuendos.
Have we even seen what this woman does? 'Cause I think we've obviously seen these two. This guy's gonna be a tank. I'm positive. He's gonna be like, ooh, pardon me. He's gonna be like a close-up guy. I don't know what she'll be though.
Even though you've still got the usual cheeky characters, sexual innuendos, and over-the-top gore, there's also quite a bit of darkness and the beginnings of what seems to be a significantly more grounded story in play,
Which is
will
good.
hopefully wash away some of the shallowness found in Borderlands 3.
What the heck is that?
Antagonists are concerned.
We'll see who's laughing when I unleash my secret weapon.
It's also worth noting the intentional shift away from Pandora to focus on this new world. This, combined with the fact that a lot of the cast is entirely new, at least in the sections I played, makes things feel a bit like a soft reboot that gives a fresh start to tell new stories compared to prior games that have mostly leaned pretty heavily on the locations and characters established in their predecessors.
Oh my gosh.
In their predecessors.
Jeez, dude's got his face flattened. Oh my gosh, and he was like on TikTok or something right there. No, I'm pretty excited. I'm very curious to see how the story's going to play out towards the end. Like, are they going to end up implementing the story into the old, the more OG cast, like from Borderlands 2 and stuff? Or is this just going to be a continuation sort of to its new thing? Like what the guy said, like a soft reboot. And it'll just continue off on its own thing. Like even for like Borderlands 5 and onwards kind of thing. Because I wouldn't mind seeing that Necromancer lady again. That'd be fun.
I'm all for this shift, honestly.
And by seeing her again, I mean like getting to play her. Oh my gosh, it'd be so cool if they had like maybe towards the end of the game's lifespan or something. Just have like even it obviously doesn't have to be canon. Just be like get a bunch of the old Borderlands characters and just get them in because it'd be fun playing in like a new updated version of the Necromancer lady. But that won't happen.
Because although Borderlands was my addiction for years, it's also pretty clearly been on its back foot as a series, as the looter-shooter space has both evolved and become more crowded, especially where its ongoing live service peers are concerned.
Oh yeah, no, there's a lot more looter shooters. If they want to stay in the game, they obviously invented it, but you can invent something and get outshined by your competitors. So they need to up their quality and shine like a beacon of like a flashlight.
To be clear, I don't want to see Borderlands chase the games as a service model,
No,
fundamentally change what it is, but it's nice to see that
no, I don't want this to become like a hardcore live service. Like every other week, there's like a new item in a shop or something like that, or like some stupid battle passes that are there for like 3 months and then just vanish. If they're gonna do a battle pass, do it like how Borderlands 3 where it stays, or obviously like Halo Reach, or not Halo Reach, Halo the Master Chief Collection and the Halo Infinite, where the battle passes stay. Though even at the end of the day, I don't like battle passes. They need to find a better form. At least that's my thought. I at the end of the day, I would have preferred loot boxes, as long as you don't get dupes in them. But that's just me. I like gambling. Not actually though. Not that much.
Gearbox seems willing to take some sizable risks in pursuit of evolving the series, because I genuinely think it needs to do
Oh,
so.
no, it definitely needs to.
Attention of longtime fans like myself. That's not to say there isn't a ton of good, old-fashioned goodness inside Borderlands 4. Quite the opposite. I still spent ludicrous amounts of time dabbing on loads of enemies who shouted expletives at me after running out of darkened spawn points, watched colorful loot explode out of enemies
I want an enemy psycho call me call me a white devil. That'd be funny.
like fireworks, and ran dog-like enemies over with my vehicle, which is now very awesomely available to be summoned anywhere on the map, rather than having
That is so nice. I can't explain how annoying it is to have to go to a vehicle place. Oh, this is such a good slice of life.
point. Thank God. There are also
I also think they needed to do that. If they didn't, that'd be stupid because it's a more of an open world area. So you need to be able to transport or go through areas a lot faster. And I'm very curious to see how the teleporting system will work.
perilous vaults to be raided and massive badass bosses to take down in the name of loot, XP, and bragging rights, which I unfortunately can't show you today because of some unfortunate restrictions on what I'm allowed to showcase at this time.
Also, for when it comes to bosses, I'm really hoping for like at least the story bosses is they have like cool. They have unique mechanisms where like all of a sudden if like lava comes from the ground or something, you sort of have to place yourself in different positions. You have to sort of think a little bit more. I hope it's not just bosses just doing their thing, having a lot of HP, and you just shoot them and just dodge their attacks. I hope there's like more unique things. Like maybe we also have to fly to take out an enemy or something. I don't know. It just would be cool to have more unique bosses.
But I can say that the one boss I fought a number of times is perhaps the most mechanics-heavy and interesting enemy I've encountered in Borderlands.
Let's see.
And if it's at all representative of the level of quality we can expect from Borderlands 4, then we're in for quite a treat. After several hours dipping my toes into what is sure to be a massive looter shooter, I'm much more optimistic about Borderlands 4's odds of recapturing my affections after years apart. Stay tuned in the coming days when I'm allowed to show off some later game footage and a boss fight that I took down a number of times in an effort to grind out some unique weapons. Old habits die hard, I guess. What questions do you have about Borderlands 4? We'll do a follow-up video soon based on the questions you...
I don't have that many questions. What are you doing, Topaz? Yeah, no, I'm at the end of the day, I'm pretty excited. Also a little nervous, but pretty excited. I'm hoping that they don't screw this up. They need to do a good job. Anyways, I guess that's sort of my first big react from coming back. I haven't done an actual proper react in like forever/ever. I hope you guys have a good day. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about Borderlands 4. I would love to know. Did you guys agree with some of the thoughts I had and viewpoints on the game? If you got something that you don't like about my points, let me know. I'll catch you guys on my next react. And also, come to Kick, Senku Tenchi. I'll be live once in a while there. So take care and see you guys later.